After months of discussion and supportive emails, writer Harry Sol Markham was about to sign a deal with a publisher for his new book, only for them to suddenly abandon the deal. The book deals with topics such as multiculturalism and a growth in anti-Jewish intolerance, and the publisher decided they did not want to proceed due to the sensitive nature surrounding such issues. And I'm delighted to say Harry Sol Markham joins me now to discuss this. Good evening, Harry.
Good evening to you.
Harry, can you tell us a bit about the book?
Yeah, sure. So I decided, after experiencing a horrific anti-Semitic ordeal, in which a large group of violent pro-Palestinian activists outside Downing Street 3 years ago surrounded a group of Jews, and I was a part of the crowd and the crowd that was attacked. I wasn't doing the attacking. Right. And I thought to myself, my goodness, how could it be that in this multicultural city, a city whose leaders frequently boast its tolerance, acceptance and openness, that something like this could happen? And so I decided to write a book exploring really where multiculturalism has gone wrong.
Right, and that was 3 years ago, so this has nothing to do with the October the 7th, stuff that's happened in the past.
Well, I suspect, in terms of the decision the publisher made, I suspect their decision was motivated by fears of backlash, because, of course, since October 7th, there have been enormous concerns amongst journalists and publishers that if they write something that may well upset sensibilities of pro-Palestinian activists or various Islamist elements, that they may well be on the receiving end of some nasty abuse. And I suspect that played a huge part in the decision of the publisher.
And how did you find out about the decision from the publisher?
Well, one Friday evening, last week, I was just outside and, you know, just writing as I do, and I received an email informing me that actually we don't really want your book anymore because we're concerned, what do they say, about the sensitive nature of the topics I address. Now, let me be absolutely clear. My book is a centrist, liberal reckoning with multiculturalism. And what I mean by that is that I want to see multicultural societies do better. But to that end, my fellow liberals need to reckon with the fundamental shortcomings of multiculturalism and see where this has gone terribly wrong. Because, of course, whilst I do pay considerable attention to Islamist anti-Semitism, actually what's really concerning is the way in which we are seeing the erasure of centrist politics, the rise of extremism, and that has implications for Jews and for democracy.
Right, that's an interesting point. I've been on some of the vigils of the October the 7th attacks, and oftentimes, I'm not Jewish myself, and Jewish people will say, thank you for coming. And
well, you're an honorary Jew.
Well, I'm here for me, actually, as well. I'm concerned about all of this.
Sure.
So having worked on the book for so long, how did that feel to suddenly have it taken away from you?
Well, look, I went to bed that Friday night feeling incredibly depressed. And I decided to go onto Twitter the next day and post about it. And I never really used Twitter for anything, really, but I decided to post about my experience. And my gosh, there was a storm. And Andrew Doyle reached out to me and invited me to come on here today. And I've had other people people who have reached out to me, including now my new literary agent. And so this is...
Congratulations.
Many thanks. And this is Andrew's literary agent too. And it's been incredibly helpful, and actually what I really do realise now is that being cancelled is really a blessing, because I would never have had this coverage. Okay, I'm just an odd 24-year-old undergraduate. No one really cares about me aside from my mother, right? So I mean, so the coverage I have received from really from quite prominent sources has been extraordinary. And really, if I had to say anything to my publisher, I want to say a massive thank you. I wish I could send them a card.
That's a fantastic attitude. OK, well, great. I'm really happy to hear that. But what do you think this says about the wider climate at the moment? Well,
indeed. And so, look, the decision of the publisher was symptomatic of a climate which I think is really fearful to disrupt orthodoxies. Now, I think disrupting orthodoxies is essential for any functioning liberal democracy. We need to protect our dissenting voices. Any student of John Stuart Mill will tell you that. But, of course, I'm not the only victim of this dangerous climate. People who have written on the trans issue, people who have written about colonialism, or people who have expressed very legitimate concerns and grievances about mass immigration or the anti-racist movement, they too have also been silenced. And what I worry about is this, and this is what drove me to write the book, is that if, I'm not going to say I'm normal, but if sensible people don't take these issues on, head on, and confront the unpalatable truths of living in multicultural Western Europe, if sensible people don't do it, then who will? Well, we know who will take these issues on, OK? And those are people that have, it must be said, some anti-democratic tendencies. And I say that what we need for there to be a centrist revival is for centrists to reclaim these issues, to talk about these issues in a reasoned manner, because the alternative, frankly, is good for no one.
Absolutely. So has this caused you to revise any parts of the book or to add to it at all?
So I finished my manuscript on October the 5th. And 2 days later, I had to rewrite my afterword. Now, I'm having to add to my afterword. It seems that these various things that have happened since I finished the manuscript are causing me to add to my manuscript, and I really am grateful to the publisher, because now I will, when it comes to marketing the book, I can market the book as the book which a publisher was too afraid to publish.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic. But I mean, that doesn't apply to everybody, does it? You could say you're a lucky case. Are you aware of other Jewish creatives that have faced similar problems? Well,
I am extraordinarily lucky, and I am aware that there have been plenty of others that have written on particularly the issue of Islamist anti-Semitism. It's the case that it's common amongst liberals, or so-called liberals, to basically say that, well, we need to deal with far-right extremism and Islamist extremism. Well, yes, we absolutely do, but one is causing more problems for Jews than the other, right? And so for my fellow writers that have written things on this topic, not only have they not been able to get their work published, they have been horrifically treated by their intellectual counterparts. And really, I'm afraid to say, the culture within academia now has presented major stumbling blocks to any intellectual that wants to talk honestly on this important issue.
Right, OK. Well, finally then, do you have a new publishing date, and where can people find your work?
Well, not yet, but watch this space, because I know that I won't stop until this book is out, because I worked too damn hard for it not to be released.
Excellent.
So watch this space. Yeah.
Fantastic. Harry Markham.